Welcome, listeners. You are tuning in to Unlocking Your Truth with Dr. Lesley and Corey.
Hello, everybody.
And we are broadcasting from CIVL across the Fraser Valley on 101.7 FM from the unceded territory of the Stolo Nation.
Yes, we are.
Yes, we are. And we're also live streaming on our Awaken Your Psychic Abilities Facebook group and my YouTube channel. Unlocking Your Truth is a talk show about metaphysics and spirituality, and it's quite a long-standing show now. We've been doing it for about 5 years. So if you do go to the podcast feed, you will find hundreds of past episodes. So if you're really into this stuff, spirituality, metaphysics, intuition, healing, then I encourage you to go and explore. Now, this year is a special year for me because I have
a new book.
my new book.
A new book.
My new book, which is called Intuition and Chakras, came out, which is published by Llewellyn, and it's available on Amazon and Barnes and Noble and IndieBound, as well as Llewellyn. And to celebrate this, we're doing every show from the middle of the year, basically, to the end of the year on the theme of intuition and chakras. And we have basically been working our way through all of the different intuition types that are mentioned in the book. And we started with the first chakra in this series, and now we are on to the fourth chakra. So if you've been listening avidly, then you'll know where we are. But if you're just tuning into the show and it's the first one you're listening to, then you can catch all of the other episodes by going onto our podcast feed, which is drlesleyphillips.com/category/podcast. And there are, on the drop down menu, there's labels that will take you to the podcast as well. So,
by the way, just so you know, Tracy said, "Love the beautiful flowers."
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, we're trying to jazz things up a little bit. So it's good to get the feedback. Thank you, Tracy. All right, so we're on to the fourth chakra, and we started talking about the fourth chakra last week. And so you'll notice that as we go through the chakra system, some of them will be talking about them for a few weeks, and that's because your psychic abilities are channeled through the chakra system, and some of the chakras have more than one psychic ability that is channeled through it. So that's the case for the heart chakra, the fourth chakra, which is located in the center of your chest, kind of where your heart would be.
Yep. I'm sorry, Doctor. I find some of the aspects of the different chakras are very similar to each other. Like, feelings and like we're talking about oneness and a couple of the other chakras as well, like touch on emotions and things like that. So, but they are different though, right? They are completely different, all these different ones.
Well, really, the chakra system is an integrated system that is interconnected and functions together. In order to write about it, in order to talk about it and explain it, I've had to break it down into bite-sized pieces. So it seems like we're going, well, here's this little box that this chakra is in, and this little box that that chakra is in, and here, and we've put it all into compartments just so we can talk about it. But in some senses, it isn't really like that at all. It's an integrated system where everything relates and responds to all of the other things in it. But because we're human and the way our comprehension works, then we have to sort of slice it and dice it. So, so how they might be different is, I mean, they're all energy centers that are conduits to your spiritual information, but the lower chakras relate more to lower vibrational levels. So, for example, the first chakra relates to physical reality, which is a very dense vibration. And then as you're going up the chakras, they are increasing in vibration and relating to aspects that are in that frequency band, if you like. So then when we get to the crown chakra, we are relating to spirit, consciousness, the cosmic consciousness, divine source energy, your higher being. And when we're talking about the first chakra, the planet, the physical body, physical reality, and then everything in between. So we're kind of going up vibrationally as we travel through the chakra system. And we're slap bang this week in the middle of the chakra system, right? Because we've got 3 chakras below the heart chakra and 3 above the heart chakra when it comes to the 7 main chakras that relate to you in your physical body. And so last week we talked about affinity. And affinity is, we can think of it as, sometimes, you know, you get an impulse, you feel drawn to something, we say you have an affinity for it. It is an aspect of the heart chakra that helps you navigate through your life journey towards the things that you resonate with, towards the things that are relevant for you to experience, for example. So this week we're going to talk about oneness, which means the interconnectedness of all things. And some other words we might use to describe what we mean here is unity or unity consciousness might be a good word to describe what we mean by oneness or the interconnectedness of all things. And things like unconditional love and acceptance, because oneness is the aspect of the heart center that helps you realize that you are a part of everything else. And it also helps you to sense where you fit within the whole. And so we could be talking about everything. You know, we could be talking about the cosmic consciousness, divine source energy. Some people call that God, which is all things, right? So if we say God or the cosmic consciousness or divine source energy or whatever your word for that is everything, and you are a part of everything. So it helps you to sense that connectedness to everything, whether you are sensing your connectedness to another human being, to an animal, to nature, to a group of humans like your family or another group that you belong to and relate to, or the country you live in, the planet as a whole, the human species, the solar system, the galaxy, all life everywhere, wherever it may be. This is through the heart chakra and its aspect of oneness, is how you can experience your connection with all life. People, plants, animals, the planet, the cosmos, divine source energy, family, community, countries, nations, nature. So everything that exists is connected. And oneness is your way to experience everything in the fabric of creation. So let's look at So how do you know you're experiencing oneness? And how do you know that you're not experiencing oneness? So if you're experiencing oneness, it might feel like this. You might feel integrated with all things. And you might feel in a state of acceptance of people and situations. You know, you're not having a judgment or an expectation, but you're accepting. Because the oneness allows you to sense that you're all part of the same whole and accept every aspect of the whole. So you can accept other people as they are without judging them, and you can accept yourself as you are without judging yourself. So experiencing oneness also, it gives you the peace of mind that you are exactly where you are meant to be, doing what you need to do to fulfill your unique role. Because remember, we said oneness is everything, and we are a part of the oneness. Each one of us is a unique individual part of the oneness. We all belong within the oneness. How can we not, right? We're all fragments of this great divine creation that some of us call God, but we can think of other names for it. So, but okay, so that might be what the experience of oneness is like. What about when I'm not experiencing oneness? So let's see, if you feel like a black sheep, I'm the black sheep of the family. I'm different. I'm different than everybody else. Nobody understands me. I don't know what my purpose is. I don't know where I belong. I don't even know if I belong on this planet. So if you feel like that, then you are out of alignment with your sense of oneness and out of alignment with your source. And also, when you're not in a state of oneness, then you would not be able to experience unconditional love, because there would be some things that you are judging. And, you know, you wouldn't be able to validate yourself, other people, the world in general. You might want what other people have. You might feel responsible for them. You might give so much that you become sick. So you might be out of balance. Now, and it's interesting, isn't it, that those of us in the spiritual realm, those of us who are into this stuff, intuition, chakras, energy, it's a common story to feel different, you know, and to feel like the black sheep and to feel like an outlier. And yet when we do that, we are not connecting with the oneness and the it's not just an idea, the principle. I was going to say the truth, but truth is subjective. The truth that we are all one. And so, well, oneness helps you know where you belong, who you are, how you fit amongst the whole and amongst all of everyone else that you know. So I hope it's all making sense to you. So let's see how else we can talk about oneness. And Corey, you can feel free at any time to interject if any of the listeners have any questions. So
I will do that.
Yeah, great. So maybe I can just describe a personal experience of oneness. And it's a little bit abstract, but it is a genuine, profound experience that I remember that makes me, where I feel like I touched on the experience of oneness.
Tracy says, I felt that way before I started working with my intuition, just like Dr. Lesley said. I asked the question online here, anybody ever feel like that? And Brian says, oh, yes. And then Tracy says, I felt like that before I started working with her intuition.
Right. Because working with your intuition helps you tap into who you are. I mean, the whole point of intuition and developing your intuition is to know yourself, to experience yourself, to be at one with yourself. And then from there to be at one with others. So here's an example of a personal experience, and I wrote about it in my book, and it's just a little thing. But so, and this is an experience where I wasn't necessarily meditating, but it was kind of a meditative experience. And I'm sure everyone can probably identify with this. And I was in nature, and it was a sunny day, and I was sitting on a rock by the ocean. And I was just, it was a beautiful sunny day. The sun was rippling on the water. I was watching the boats go by. The ripples on the surface of the water were shimmering, you know, and I could hear the sound of birds and voices. And I was in a very present, aware state. And there were no thoughts in my mind, simply the pure presence of being. And almost like there was no separation between me and everything that I was witnessing. And it also was a state where there was no content or meaning assigned to any of it. So we were at one. And it was an experience beyond human language, beyond the human intellect. There was pure, simply a state of oneness and presence of being. Where I was there on the rock and the ocean was there. And yet I wouldn't even say in my mind, I'm here and the ocean's there, because we were at one. Yes, Corey?
Yes, it's almost time for a break, Dr. Lesley. Maybe you can continue afterwards.
That sounds like a good idea. Listeners, you're tuning in to Unlocking Your Truth with Dr. Lesley and Corey, and we'll be back after these messages.
Go ahead, Dr. Lesley.
Sure. Give me a second. I'm going to have a sip of my drink.
Okay, you can do that whenever you want.
All right. Welcome back, listeners. You are tuning in to Unlocking Your Truth with Dr. Lesley and with Corey. And Unlocking Your Truth is a talk show about metaphysics and spirituality. And if you're just tuning in, you've caught us in the middle of a discussion about the heart chakra and an aspect of the heart chakra called oneness. And this is part of our Intuition and Chakras podcast series that we're doing this year.
And we have a question for you afterwards. Right. And I think you're probably going to cover that anyway. And Zora, Zora wants to know, how do we heal our fifth chakra if we feel like we have an imbalance in the fifth chakra? But she meant fourth chakra. So basically she says, how do we heal the fourth chakra if we feel we have an imbalance in the fourth chakra?
Okay, yeah, I might save that. I'll keep that in mind. Let's talk about it a little bit more. And the reason I want to talk about it a little bit more is because we can bring out what some of the imbalances feel like. So if you've got a crisis of self-identity, if you just feel like you don't know who you are, if you're concerned about what other people think of you, you don't ever feel good enough, worried about not fitting in or being rejected, if you believe nobody loves you, if you believe that there's something wrong with you, these are all signs that you have an imbalance in your heart chakra and you're not in a state of oneness. You're not connecting with who you are and where you fit. And so how do we heal that? Clearing expectations, clearing limiting beliefs, clearing foreign energy, because sometimes those beliefs and those ideas don't even come from you, they come from other people. And really peeling away those layers of belief and expectation until you can find the center in your heart which contains love, and are able to love yourself and grow that into a love for other people as well. So let's talk a little bit more about what it feels like to be in a state of oneness or not. And I'll just say, in answer to the question, how do you heal the heart chakra? I'll address that now. So the way I do it and the way I teach other people to do it is using energy techniques, using meditation, and then specific ways of working with your own energy. Developing the intuition so that you can tune into what the imbalance is and where the imbalance is, and then working with energy to correct it. And as I mentioned, that can involve deprogramming yourself from beliefs that do not support you, that are not in alignment with having a balanced heart chakra. So I hope that gives you some idea to the person who asked that question. So let's see. Let's continue to draw this portrait of a person who might be or might not be sensing the oneness through their heart's chakra. So one might say, if you have a high level of certainty about your feelings, your needs, your wants, your desires, you know who you are, you know where you fit in, you know why you're here. Because of that, you may not, you might be quite happy with your own company. And if you've let go of any traits where you are succumbing to other people's expectations, if you've let go of any pressure to fit in or match the energy of your family or other groups, because this is the other thing that happens. Either you feel like the black sheep and you don't fit in, or you try and force yourself like a square peg in a round hole to fit into a group or a family where that energy match is not your natural state of being. So you can torture yourself into being someone that you're not, basically. And so if you're able to accept others without judgment, if you can appreciate other people without needing them to change, and if you can remain neutral to other people's judgments of you, then you may very well be able to attune to a state of oneness. All right.
That's a good answer.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think the heart chakra is I think it's put into a box. Everybody thinks the heart chakra has the only thing it has to do with is relationships and emotions, and it's not so. I mean, from what you're saying, that the heart chakra has a lot more to do with the way you feel about yourself, more so.
Well, and it's your relationship with everything. It's basically your relationship with everything. It's your relationship with everything in existence. It's how you interconnect with the great all that is, the cosmic consciousness, the oneness. Some people, like we said, some people call it God, some people call it, I don't know, yeah, cosmic consciousness. But everything in existence is a part of that whole. And so your heart chakra kind of connects you with that great all that is, and also helps you sort of navigate a path through through the great all that is, because through your heart's affinity, your impulses, your desires, you are pulled towards certain people, places, experiences, or even repelled from them. And through your oneness, you connect with all of it and can realize how you fit in. And so, you know, how can you cultivate this? And I was saying before, through meditation. And let's think about, why don't we think about, there's a meditation technique that I'm always talking about on this show. And that meditation technique is grounding. And that's the meditation technique where you create a flow of energy from your first chakra to the center of the earth. In fact, we did a quick meditation last week. Let's do another one this week. And as we do it, we'll talk about oneness.
Sounds great.
So anyone who isn't driving or doing something that, you know, requires them to be paying attention in a physical way, then you can sit with your feet flat on the ground, your hands resting in your lap, close your eyes and turn within. And take a deep breath in. And take a deep breath out. And take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. And even now, just continue that long, slow, deep breath. And as you have your eyes closed and you're turned within, and you're tuning into your chest rising and falling, and maybe you can feel your heart beating, your pulse through your body. Start to experience your body. Start to have the experience of oneness and unity with your own physical system. So you are spirit. Your body is part of your own personal private universe. And through a state of oneness, you unify and bring together all of that, all the cells in your body, all the molecules in your body. So experience that. Experience the oneness within your own body. And then take a moment actually now to tune into your first chakra, which is an energy center that exists near the base of your spine. And start to create a flow of energy that goes from there to the center of the earth. And as you do that, you make a connection between you and the planet. And as you make a connection between you and the planet, start to tune into how you fit here. And sense the interconnectedness between you and the planet. By making your grounding cord, you are creating you are creating kind of like a unification cord between you and between the earth. Okay, and then let's also just add in the heart chakra. Last week we did a meditation from the heart with the heart chakra. So tune in to your heart center. And allow yourself to just tune into a sense of connection within your heart. You could even start with a sense of connection that you have, a sense of connection and love that you have for yourself. And if you can't find that, think of something that you do feel connected with. If you have a pet or a child or a parent that you love. And think of them and think of your connection, your interconnectedness with them. And feel your heart opening and expanding. And then start to think about your family. And allow yourself to be in a state of acceptance for your family. And then expand that out to the country that you live in. And notice, just thinking about where you fit within all of this, where you fit within your family, where you fit within, you can think about where you work, where you fit within where you work, where you fit within the country that you live in. And how there's all of those people, all playing a role, all belonging, all interconnected, all part of the same oneness, whether it's the oneness within the family, the oneness within the workplace, the oneness within the town that you live in, the oneness within the country, the oneness of the entire planet and the entire species of humans on the planet. Sense your connection to all of these beings, all of this life through your heart. Sense your connection to both the planet and the cosmos. If at any point in this meditation you are sensing that you don't belong, or you are having difficulty tapping into that sense of oneness, you can simply send those discordant feelings or thoughts down your grounding cord to the center of the earth. And this is a way that you can heal your heart chakra, because you can let those discordant, out of alignment things go. You can release them. All right, so I'll just invite you to release a bit more energy down your grounding and open your eyes and come back into the room. And we'll end the meditation there, because I think that at some point in the next few minutes we might be going for a break. Looks like this might be a good moment to do that. So, listeners, you are tuning in to Unlocking Your Truth with Dr. Lesley and Corey. Today's show is about the heart chakra and oneness. And we are going to be back after the break, and we're going to answer your questions in the final part of the show.
Yes, that's always fun.
Yeah, that is, isn't it? It's always a lot of fun.
So let's go for a quick break.
And I'll have another sip of my drink while we're on a break. I feel a sense of oneness with my tea.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay, Dr. Lesley.
Welcome back, listeners. You're tuning in to Unlocking Your Truth with Dr. Lesley and Corey. And today's show is another one in our series of intuition and chakras, because we're celebrating the launch of my book, Intuition and Chakras. And every week we're going through a different chakra and a different intuitive ability. And this week's the heart chakra. The heart chakra and oneness, the interconnectedness of all things, unity.
We have some comments for you. Loretta Ann says, when we're talking about how, how expansive about the heart chakra, she says, yes, it's very expansive. And then Tracy said, that was nice. Thank you, regarding the meditation. And then Amina says, beautiful meditation with a big purple heart beside it.
Oh, well, that's lovely. Thank you.
Yeah. And we have a request for you. And it's from Zore. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Can you do a personal reading on my energy? I just got in touch with someone in my past, like that I've had a romantic past with. Do you feel good energy coming from continuing to speak to him?
Well, I can look at that for you.
That's similar to the question we had last week.
So, Zore, well, I'm just taking a general look at your energy. And the first thing I would say is, in order to have the experience we want in our lives, which, is positive, loving relationships, manifesting all of the things that we want, we need to be grounded and present within our bodies. The first thing I notice about your energy is you're not as grounded as you need to be. And so I recommend that you practice that technique we just did of grounding. And if you want a longer introduction to grounding, you can go to drlesleyphillips.com and download the free meditation, because it teaches you how to ground. And it spends a bit longer doing it than I did in that meditation there. Now, I don't know why that's coming up in relation to this question, but it is. So we'll see why in a moment. Okay, and then the other thing I want to say is, so when you're grounded, you are present within your body. You unite body and spirit. You are spirit, you have a body. So back on the theme of tonight's show, that then you have a oneness between you and your body, because through the grounding, it enables your high vibration frequency of your energy to be present within the body. When you're present within the body, you're more in charge of your life. And you are, and this is where I'm going with this, because you're more present, you're more able to tune into your intuition as it relates to right here, right now. And then you're more likely to know your own answers about whether this is a feel-good thing for me or not a feel-good thing for me. And so I guess that's a long way of saying it. It just looks like the the reason that you have uncertainty and are out of touch with your own answers is because you're not grounded. And I would never tell you what to do with your personal choices. I can read the energy of it, and I would just say, the more you come into your body, the more you will be able to see what is a vibrational match for you. So I'm seeing that this person, in some senses, if you stay with a fuzzy consciousness, not quite here, then it kind of almost looks like you could have a relationship like that. But if you're really here and really present, then to me, it doesn't look like a vibrational match in that case. So, bit of a complicated answer, I know, but this is your free will, you know. But what I'm seeing is to encourage you to know yourself, to know your own mind, to know your own answers, to know your own feelings, and learn to respond to them, because you do have all your own answers within you.
That's true.
Yeah.
Especially because your spirit, when you meditate, especially when you meditate, like you go to that place where the strength, your spirit is, like that is spirit. That's a whole different entity outside of your physical body that gets you all perturbed and things like that. But when you go into that spirit sense of yourself, everything fall. I love the term. You're not bound by time or space, and you have the ability to jump wherever you need to jump, past lives, future lives, wherever you need to go to find out information about what you're looking at as far as questions.
Talking about oneness, that's another way we can think about oneness, because part of the oneness within your own being includes all of your past lives and all of your future lives and all of the projections of consciousness that emanate from your soul. And so you are multidimensional. You're not just this body personality self that's listening to this. True. You can have a sense of unity and connectedness and interconnectedness with that greater part of yourself that includes all of those multidimensional experiences. You can have an appreciation of that and a sense of that through your heart chakra, through the oneness within your heart.
Okay, so we have thank you, Dr. Lesley. So we have a question from Brian. And Brian says, Dr. Lesley, I've had a lot of anxiety lately. Seems to be getting worse, hard to manage it. I wonder if you could look at that and let me know what's going on there. I haven't had it that bad since I was a kid, but it is familiar. I don't know if it's related to the heart chakra or not, since it's always causes a rapid heartbeat. And we have some more questions coming up after that.
Okay, and that's from Brian. So if we were having a session, I'd probably ask you a few questions about your life, Brian. But what it looks like to me is that a couple of things. One is with what we were talking about earlier, developing oneness between you and your body. So it looks like your body is afraid because your body doesn't know what's going on. So it's almost about like cultivating that connection between body and spirit by grounding. So I'm also seeing that you're not grounded enough. So by grounding and by talking to your body and helping your body understand the times that we are in. So it looks like that there are just some things that are coming from outside of you that are freaking the body out. So that's why I said I would ask you some questions, because it's sort of like, well, what is going on in your life and what is going on with the other people around you? Or, you know, is it just what's going on with respect to COVID and all of the changes that we're all going through? And there's a lot of frightened, panicky people out there. So it looks like part of it is picking up on the general energy that's out there and not merging with it. See, merging and oneness are not the same thing. And maybe this is a point I should have brought out, but I didn't brought out when I was talking earlier, is so oneness is a recognition that we are all part of the cosmic consciousness, but it also allows for our sense of individuation and where we fit within that. Merging is more when everyone's energy is intermingling and you don't know who you are anymore because you've got this person and that person in your space. So it looks to me like you do have some foreign energy in your space, and that you're feeling overwhelmed because of that foreign energy. And like I said, it could be coming from, other people that you're close to, whether it's family, home life, career, or just what's going on in the world like right now. And to me, it looks like, if I was to make a guess, it looks like what's going on in the world right now. So I hope that helps. So really meditating and learning how to own your space, so that you can clear out the energy that isn't yours, is one step you can take. And the other step that you can take is talking to your body, and grounding will help with both of those things. Looks like you were chuckling to yourself there, Corey.
Yes, I was. Chuckle, chuckle, chuckle. I have a question from Chrissy. And Chrissy says, "Hi, Dr. Lesley. I just discovered your podcast last week, and I'm loving my journey to try and strengthen my gift. I was just told a few weeks back from a psychic reading that I'm a psychic empath."
Okay, and is there a question in that, or just?
I guess you could pull a question out of that.
Do
you agree?
I could pull a question out. So Chrissy, if you only discovered me last week, you missed the show that we did on the second chakra and clairsentience. That would be a really good one for you to listen to, because that's all about being an empath. And really, in a way, what I was just talking to Brian about connects with that idea as well. Because when you're an empath, it means that you are able to tune into on an emotional level. So tune into other people's feelings, for example. Now, it relates to a psychic ability called clairsentience, and we talked about that a few shows ago, which is the ability for you as spirit to tune into the emotional levels. And part of its purpose is body-spirit communication. So you, the high vibration spirit, can communicate with your body, right? And tune into your body's emotions and respond to your body's emotions. So that is a little bit what we were talking to Brian about. And the problem can be when you're absorbing everyone else's emotions, and then it gets very confusing and it gets very overwhelming. So welcome to the show. I'm glad that you're enjoying it. And yeah, I mean, hopefully check out the book as well, because there's a ton of fantastic information in there and a ton of meditation techniques that help you develop your intuition further, and also help you overcome the challenges associated with and the blocks associated with developing your intuition.
So that's great. I put the link to the quiz on in the chat, so that people can. I'll put it at in both the podcast and on YouTube.
That's
so
a
if
good
anybody wants to go through that. So I have another question for you.
Say to the listeners what the quiz is. So the quiz is a psychic ability quiz, and it's really cool. It's 10 questions, and at the end of it, you find out where you have more of an affinity for being someone who tends to sense your intuition through feeling, seeing, hearing, or knowing. And those are the 4 clairs. And so it's kind of fun to find out what you get at the end of that.
Okay, we've got 6 minutes left, or 4 minutes left, so I'll give you another question. Hi, Lesley, it's Kim. When we are working through something that has triggered our heart chakra, are we likely to be connecting with energies that are of the same vibration that land around us, or people around us are working through at that time? If so, when we focus on what we individually are going through, does it help heal those similar energies, or do we need to specifically direct that healing to the greater grid?
Okay, I think I need you to read that again.
Okay, I read too fast. Eh?
And I'll
Hi,
make notes.
hi, Lesley, it's Kim. When we are working through something that has triggered our heart chakra, are we likely to be connecting with energies that are of the same vibration that land around us, or people around us are working through at that time? So basically what other people are feeling, being empathic in that sense. If so, when we focus on what we individually are going through, does it help heal those similar energies, or do we need to specifically direct that healing to the greater good? Greater good, I'm not sure. The grid, I guess.
So if you are healing yourself, you are impacting the greater good. If you are here on this planet and you are grounded and you are healing yourself and going through your own personal inner expansion and transformation, if you're anchoring light and all of those good things, then you are changing the world and you are impacting the planet and you are impacting everybody else on it. So just by you focusing on yourself and doing your own healing work, you naturally are impacting everything else, because everything and everyone is interconnected. And that goes beyond the land that surrounds you or that is close by, and it goes beyond the people that are nearby as well. And so that's part of the answer to your question, that is heal yourself and heal the world. You don't even have to think about this part of the world and that part of the world. If you heal yourself, then you are healing the world and you're changing the consciousness of all of us. And then the other part of the question is like, so do you have to focus on those others? So if you want to specifically offer a healing to another person or an aspect of the land, then you can focus on assisting change in others, right? So I would say if you're healing yourself, you're healing everything. But if you have a particular project or somebody's asking you for a healing, then by focusing your attention on that person or that project, then you can assist that to change as well. So change yourself, you change the world. You can assist others to change if they want you to, with your intentions and your focus. Thank you for that question. That's a great question.
I have a question, one more question, and you've got about a minute and a little bit to answer it. Basically a minute and a half. And Tracy says, can you explain how the 4th chakra relates to the other chakras? And I think you've done that already, though.
So all chakras emanate a field of energy. And the field of energy that emanates from each of the chakras interpenetrates with the layer of energy from all of the other chakras. So the heart chakra is relating to all the other chakras and is I'm trying to think of a word. Does that make sense? That they're all connected with each other. They're all interconnected. So your auric field is made up of many layers of energy, each layer emanating from the chakra system. And so you can go through, the heart chakra and feel how it intersects with all of the other chakras and get information about the interrelationship between the heart chakra and the crown chakra and the sixth chakra and the fifth chakra and the third, second, first chakra. As a healer, you can do that by feeling the energy of the chakra itself and where it intersects with the energies of all the other chakras. So I think that's the best I can do in a minute and a half. I hope that helps. Oh. So Corey is on mute. I think
I'm sure it does. Look, Dr. Lesley, if you give me like half a second, I'll come off of mute.
I was going to read your lips and try and say what you
No.
tell everyone what you were saying.
No. Well, that's just about it for this week. And so I'm signing off for everybody here, saying thank you. And we'll be back next week, I guess, Dr. Lesley. What's our topic next week?
Fifth chakra. We'll have 5 episodes on the fifth chakra. And I think next week is clairaudience.
Okay.
So if the Tracy is the Tracy, I think, tune into that one, Tracy.
Okay. So say goodbye, Dr. Lesley.
Bye, everybody. And yeah, tune in next week. We'll be moving on to the fifth chakra and clairaudience, the ability to hear as spirit.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Just need to look on Facebook to see.